In this episode, I'm going to look at an old Technics RSM63. This is a cassette deck from 1979. It's a 3-head, supports metal tape, and only has Dolby B on it. This one hasn't been turned on in over 20 years. Let's see if it works. Here's another old classic Technics tape deck. This one's an M63. This is a 3-head, belt drive, single capstan, mechanical controlled deck. But it is a 3-head deck, so I'd expect it's going to perform pretty good. I actually used this deck for years, and it did do a very good job of recording and playback. Let's take a look at inside this one before we even hook it up. This one has not been connected it hasn't been used probably in 20 years, I would think. So before I even plug it in, I want to pull the top off it, just see what shape it's in. The last thing I want to do is fire it up with a belt that's turned to mush and have it wind around the motor and burn the motor out. So let's pull the top off first. This one actually was in my video studio. It was used for before everything went digital, but even then, this was used for audio production. When I had music and stuff that was being live mixed onto a video that was being live mixed, we'd shoot multiple cameras, especially when I was doing things like weddings and stuff, right? We'd shoot multiple camera and have 2 playback machines into a video mixer so that it could be switched live, and there'd be stuff that would be recorded on tape. I had CD players as well, like for punching in music. A lot of stuff was on CD, but there was stuff that would be on cassette, like speeches and stuff that I would want to drop in, and I'd have them queued. I'd have tapes queued that I could put in, and I could put the machine on pause. Right, I could put the pause button down. Basically, have my tapes queued. Like I would get all my segments of tapes queued, and to the where it started, and then eject the tape, take the tape out, spool it back a bit, put it in. Now I've got it in play pause, and then right when I wanted to pop that in, I could do that. And it's what I liked about this machine was I could instantly start it by just dropping the pause. So I like this machine for my my video studio stuff, my production stuff, because I could cue stuff up and just have my finger there and just ready and done, and it would drop in and it would start. It would cue instantly. Whereas a lot of the other machines, of course, you hit play and you got to wait for the solenoid ones to kick in. So that's what I liked about this, and that's what I used this for. This was used mostly for playing back. We did some recording on it too, well, but it was used a lot for playing back stuff that was going to be punched in when I was live editing. So anyway, a little history on this thing. We're going to plug it in a minute, but it's going to inspect the belts first. So let's take a look inside down the top. Check out the size of the flywheel on this sucker. It's huge. Belt looks to be actually in okay shape. So let's plug it in and turn it on. Where's the power switch? It's in the corner here. So, okay, is it not doing anything? Oh, wait a minute. I think I got to press a button on this thing to make it work. Oh, that fell off the back. There we go. It is working. It is working. And there's lots of torque, so that belt is good. This little cover just fell off of the back. That would have been used to cover up the voltage selector for the multi-voltage unit. So that part works. This tape deck probably still works. Let's hook it up. If we look in the tape compartment, we'll see that where are we here? Oh, it might help if I don't turn the power off. The tape spool is turning, which is good. Counter's rolling. Just going to check, make sure that everything works. Fast forward works. Rewind works. Eject works. I think this deck might actually work, which is amazing because it's been sitting for 20 years. Okay, I got a 3 kilohertz tone tape right now, and we can look at the frequency. We're off by a country mile. This one's running pretty slow. Adjustments made. There's an adjuster on the back. Let's put the screwdriver in there and turn it up. If I put my 440 tape in, right, so 3 kilohertz. The adjustment on this one is right on the back of the motor, right here. There is an adjustment hole right there, the back of the motor. Screwdriver in there to adjust the speed. As you can see, this is a nice plastic machine, but still a nice machine nevertheless. I think I probably have to clean some controls on here, because I'm sure the controls themselves are probably filthy. They haven't been used in a while. What else is bad on this? Looks like the light bulb here is the light bulb. Is behind the tape, is it working? Or is it dead? It's too bright in here. I gotta turn some lights out. See whether the backlight's working for the tape. Look at all those adjustments. Metal, erase current adjust. Chrome, bias adjust. Ferrochrome, bias adjust. Normal, bias adjust. This one actually had a ferrochrome position. And you know what that means, right? On a ferrochrome tape, this thing's going to sound absolutely amazing. And it does. Normal, record, gain, ferrochrome, chromium dioxide, metal. All these adjustments. It's only a Dolby B machine, but this thing here is going to make a fantastic sound recording, and we're going to do a recording on it. So on this unit, there's my normal bias tape. We've got source and tape, output level control, it needs to be cleaned, record level control with our nice fluorescent meter, dual color fluorescent meter, which is nice. It's got an adjustment for the meter and the light, dim and bright. It does a little bit. Yeah, it does it a bit. The bulb behind here is burned out. I may have to replace that at some point. I don't think I'll be doing that tonight. It's an incandescent bulb. I don't have one. It's got memory for the rewind. Here you go. Tape, input, output, source. Right? Light goes out when you're in source mode. And play head lights up. See? When you're in play. If I go into record, the erase and the record head will also light up. I can record on this tape. When I put it in record, the erase and record lights light up. And of course when I put it into play as well, now all three of them are lighting up, showing me the input through the record play and output. Which is source. You'll see that the play lights goes out and it switches to source. So it's telling you what you're doing. Nice having these mechanical switches too. Makes it for a nice, clean, simple deck. Rewind this tape. We're going to clean these controls. Controls need to be cleaned, so let's take care of that. Okay, I'm going to use neutral on this. And it might be a little bit hard to get at these controls, but I think I can get at it if I just kind of tip it forward like this. And shine my light down in here so I can see what I'm doing. Record controls are right here. That control sounding nice and clean now. Output control is still bad, so let's do that one next. It's right next to it. I also got to do the mic level control because even though we're not using a mic, if the control is turned, it actually puts noise in. There we go. Hear that? The mic control. And the bias control here. And we'll do the switches, all the other switches down here while we're at it. So let's do a recording on this, and then I'll play it back, and we'll pipe the sound directly into the camera when I play it back. But we'll listen to it through the speakers right now, through the playback head, so we can play around with the tape and the source and so forth. So let me just get something queued up here, and we'll go into record. And here's playback, or here's record. And that's the source I'm on now. I'll go to tape. You know what I should do? Let me do this before. Let's clean the heads. I haven't done that yet. I know this machine probably hasn't been cleaned in ages and ages. Oh, look at that. Look at the pinch roller on this thing. It's pretty dirty. But we'll take a look at the heads first, because they're an HPF head. Anyway, it's a ferrite head on this, so it's nothing special. But I think they were like Technics equivalent to Akai's glass heads. They had the head, and it's a ferrite head, but it's set in I know it was set in ceramic. It's not glass, but it could be ceramic. Take a look. I'll get you a close up of the head. It's quite a unique looking one. Hot press ferrite, I believe that's what the HPF was. Anyway, you can see here's the erase head over here, and it actually does have a pad to give good contact on the erase head and add a little bit of extra tension on the tape. And here's the the record head, and the play head, and of course Mr. Pinch Roller. This is a fairly easy machine to clean the heads on because the tape door comes off to leave everything exposed. It's easy to get in here and clean this one. It's also easy to adjust the azimuth. So clean the head. Doesn't even look like it's dirty. And clean the erase head. A little bit of dirt on there, I guess. Okay, this was a normal tape that we're going to record on. And I'll cue my music up again here. I'll do that one. We'll monitor the source, or monitor the tape, I should say, and go. Well, it's not sounding very good already on playback. It's sounding terrible. What is wrong with this machine? The tape looks okay. It's sounding horrible. I got 0 dB going in, and coming back out from the playback, I've only got the left channel's peaking in around -8 and the right channel's peaking in around -3. But it should be a lot better than that. A lot better. Maybe it was just the beginning of the tape because it's sounding a lot better now. It could be the tape was chewed up a bit at the beginning, which wouldn't surprise me because it's not exactly a new tape. It's a very old tape that I've used on countless machines, so it's very possible that the tape itself is kind of chewed up at the beginning. Now that it's sounding a little better. Well, let's just see how it sounds on a better tape. Maybe that's why I retired this one. It was just sounding like crap. Chrome. Again. Actually, that's not sounding too bad now on Chrome tape. And I'm not using any Dolby or anything. If we look at the what's going in 0 dB, I'm peaking up to about +3, and my output is coming back to +3 as well. Well, let's play this back. I'll play it right into the camera so you guys can hear how it sounds. And we'll try recording on metal as well. We'll try recording on the metal tape. It's just tones and stuff recorded on there. So metal on, switch it over to metal. And we'll see how it sounds on metal. Find a track to play. Yeah, that sounds good. You know, it doesn't sound as good. Metal tape doesn't sound as good as the chrome tape did. Anyway, I'll play this back and let you guys hear it directly off the tape. And here's another reason why I really like this deck. This is one of the main reasons I use this as a production deck. How many decks can you do this on? That's one of the reasons I use this, because I could do that, and I was cued. That's why I used this for years as my. I used that as my production for when I was doing video work. And of course, if you wanted to really be accurate, you could do this, right? You could be playing it, and then you just eject it. Turn it back, and then you're ready to go, and then that's why I used this thing all the years as a deck for video production when I was doing linear editing with usually it was 3 machines. It was usually 2 playback machines, a record machine, and an AB roll mixer. Let me get this thing plugged in and we'll listen to this recording on the chrome tape, and then we'll listen to the one on the metal tape, which I think you'll agree doesn't sound as good as the chrome tape. But this is a very early machine. And I'm sure it probably could use some caps, and it probably could use a full tune-up, which maybe we'll do at some point. I'm gonna get a manual for it and read up on it, but this is kind of an evaluation, because to say this machine had lots and lots of hours, but over the last 20 years it hasn't been plugged in. In fact, I'm surprised that belt hadn't melted, but it hadn't. So there you go. Okay, let's switch over and listen to the metal tape next. So I think you'll hear a little difference in the quality. Yeah, it sounds terrible. Maybe just that tape, although I think that tape sounded okay when I had it in the JVC, because I just used it in the JVC. But at least at the beginning there, it was pretty bad. I think this 41-year-old deck probably needs a good tune-up, new caps and stuff, and certainly the bias levels need to be set up because it's certainly not saturating that metal tape. Sounds like crap. Anyway, that's a look at my old M63, RSM63 by Technics, however you want to pronounce it. I wouldn't be blaming the deck entirely on it because this metal tape, as I say, is 36 years old. So before I rush in to start tweaking things up on metal on this, I think I'll probably end up finding a newer tape, and we'll try recording on a newer metal tape on this before I actually start getting in here screwdrivering or anything, because the recording, I think, as you could tell, the recording on this is a little more modern tape. It's still old, right? This tape's probably still 20 years old, but it's certainly a lot newer than this metal tape, and the sound quality on it was superior. So I think before I get into this thing and start doing anything more to it, I'll try a more modern tape. Anyway, there it is, my M63 old Technics 3-head Dolby B only deck. I just found it in 1979. It retailed for $380 US and was discontinued in 1980. So that gives you an idea how old this tape deck is. I think the fact that this unit is 41 years old and still works says something about the build quality. Yeah, it had a lot of plastic in it for sure. But 41-year-old capacitor still working, 41-year-old motor, 41-year-old belt, and it hasn't turned to goo, and the idlers all still work. That says something. Anyway, thanks for watching, and we'll catch you in the next one real soon. And if I find a newer metal tape and find that it records like crap like this old one, then maybe we'll get into this thing and start tweaking it up. But I have a sneaking suspicion that this tape here probably isn't in that great a shape because it has lots of use. I had this thing dated. Here's it was originally recorded December 13th, 1984. That was the original stuff. This thing would have probably been played hundreds and hundreds of times in my car because that's what I used to use cassettes for back in 84. So I used to use them in my car. And this thing would have had... the only reason I can tell you how I ended up with these tapes, because I worked for Sony in 1983. And I got a deal. I bought a box of them. They're all short. They're all like 46 minutes. But I bought these tapes for like $2 a piece because they were considered to be the old stock and they didn't want them. So I got them cheap. The same as I bought a box. I bought several boxes of ferrochrome. I think I bought 10 boxes of ferrochrome. The tapes, like, they were $2 a piece or something. They were cheap. Like a box of 10 cost me $20, and these ones were cheap. And I bought a box of 10. I've got 10 of these ones. And I bought them all in 83, maybe beginning of 84. I think I worked for Sony from what was it? It was like August 83, and I left Sony in August 84, and then went to work for the shop that I worked for the next 20 years, which was a dealer. That's a self-servicing dealer, a warranty depot. So I got these when I worked for Sony. So I would have bought them probably just in the summer of 84. Anyway, that's ancient history. They're old, okay? They're old. So, hope you enjoyed this one. We'll catch you in the next one real soon. Bye for now.